my name is Avanti, and my first day at college was chaotic. My first day at Harvard was some end date of August in 2016. I'd actually just come fresh off of a gap year, which I'd taken because I was doing some theater stuff and some research stuff in India. So I was a little bit nervous going into college because it had been a year since I had been away from proper studying. I was excited. The second I stepped foot on campus, it was, one of those moments where you feel like all your dreams come true. It felt like you've finally arrived and you finally get to embark upon that journey. A lot of students had their parents help them move in, but my parents actually weren't able to make it on my move-in day, so one of my aunts came to help me move in. And I remember a couple of funny incidents. So one, I had these massive suitcases that I was trying to take with me, and we didn't have an elevator, and I was on the 4th floor of this building. Before I could do anything, I showed up with my 2 bags, and they just grabbed the bags and pulled them up the stairs. So, they helped me move in, which is really sweet. And I remember my aunt was standing in line to get mugs and water bottles and, some free merch that we got at the beginning. She hears a voice from somewhere. So I was like, is that Avanti Nagral? And my aunt's like, who is this person asking about my niece? But because I had started doing music professionally, I think this person had seen some of my songs, so they're like, oh my God. But yeah, the first day when I say it was chaotic, oh my God, you had people moving in with 15 bags, cars, unloading, reloading. Many of the buildings didn't have elevators because it's older construction, which is changing now and is good because dorms should be accessible to people of all different abilities. So many new faces, and you'll see students who, for example, their family members and beyond have gone to Harvard, let alone college, right? Someone in my dorm, his great-great-great-grandfather went, and then all of the subsequent generations went, versus you have students, no one in their family has ever been to college, and this is their first time being in that kind of environment, right? So you have the whole spectrum. So, just navigating all of that, voices, people screaming, but so excited, it was a lot. And more than that's just all the new faces, and then you get swept up into orientation, which is a whole other situation. And I'm just really excited about making a new place feel like home. And that feeling that apnapan, takes a while to develop. And so I think that's why, they go crazy on the first day with orientation activities. They had so many different things to do. And, the way that a lot of these colleges do orientation is they do a week of orientation. So the number of activities you have to do is just insane. And at Harvard specifically, there were these pre-orientation programs that you could have signed up for. There were actually a lot of kids who came in having done these pre-orientation programs, which means that the week before actual move-in day, they were part of these programs. One was, I think, arts focused, one was on camping, one was on public service, whatever they all were a part of it. So actually there were some students who came in already having had made friends, right? Which can feel really intimidating to people because some people already have formed their groups and you're like, whoa, I don't know anybody here. It was a lot, but they scheduled a lot of activities, right? So they had move-in day kind of for the first, I think, 6 or 7 hours of the day. And then they requested, I think, families or whomever was helping move in to get off campus by around 2 or 3 p.m. After which we each had to report to somebody in our entryway. Very Harvard-specific term. It just means that the place you enter your building from, and that either that section vertically, so floors 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, everybody in that floor, or your, horizontally, floor 1, floor 2, floor 3, floor 4, every building was different. What was really cute to also see was how students brought their personalities of their homes with them to college. I lived in a single my freshman year, and I moved into one, which was very uncommon, but I was really lucky that I got one. So it was a bunch of, I think there were 8 rooms in this kind of U-shaped corridor, and then we had a hall bathroom where all 8 of us shared a bathroom, which was not the most fun when we realized that, but it was part of the experience. And I distinctly remember the 2 girls beside me. One of them, oh my God, she had movers, she had her mom. I think her mom is a professional interior designer. So when I saw her room, there were carpets being moved in and I don't even know what. And like the Pinterest board college dorm rooms you see, that's literally what her room was. White and pink everywhere. And it looked like the fantasy room of God even knows what. I don't even know how they moved everything in. It took them 10 hours to move everything in. Whereas the person right next to me brought in 1 poster and that's it. You know, so it's just cool to see how people bring their personalities. For me, I brought some pictures and letters of friends from back home, little mementos that reminded me of people. I had pre-ordered, which is the other crazy thing that you have to do, especially when you go to college abroad. Depending on the city that you're in, you have to pre-order all of your college-oriented things, such as, for example, organizers, right? If you have jute kahan par rakhoge, so you have, if you want to get a shoe rack or soap or, you know, just those basic things, and you think like, okay, fine, I'll show up and I'll buy it. No, because during move-in time, which is August and September of every year, every other student is doing the same thing. So all of the stores are empty. And then you have to go around running around for things, right? Some friends of mine or some new classmates of mine who hadn't done that had to go to 5 stores to find soap, for example, because it's just chaos. I felt lucky that I had pre-ordered some stuff, and then you can kind of, now with Amazon and, you know, all of these other delivery services, you can pre-order pretty much anything. But, you know, just the newness of a new key, like even figuring out how to open all the doors was ridiculous. People got locked out on the first day. They didn't know how to get back in. You have to, at least on our campus, if you got locked out, you had to call the HUPD, which was the Harvard University Police Department. I remember feeling the first time I ever got locked out was not on my move-in day, but it was much later in the year. And I was like, I'm calling the police? What is going on? So I remember the first day, we just saw police coming in and out and in and out. And we thought something was going on, but really people had just locked themselves out of their dorms and needed help getting in. My freshman dorm was called Pearl Butt, which is a very interesting name, I know. And most of the freshman dorms at Harvard are on the main campus, which is Harvard Yards. You'll see, you know, the middle where the statue is and the greenery, the lawn chairs, everything. So that's where most of the freshmen live. But I was in a dorm that was a little bit further away. People would think that it was too far. Honestly, I felt like I was back in Bombay, where people who lived in South Bombay are like, going further than Worli was Mars. So people had a problem coming to our dorm, even though it was just 5-minute walk away. As a result, all of us who lived in these 3 sets of dorms, which were the union dorms, we became very close, and we had to make our own inside jokes to keep ourselves occupied. Day 1, right, Pearl Butt's a pretty funny name. The entryways had names and we thought they were boring. So instead, we called them Upper Butt and Lower Butt. So I lived in Upper Butt, specifically upper right cheek, and we had a common room which was in the basement that we used to very lovingly call the anus. The staircase we used to call the large intestine. We would regularly message our friends saying, "Hi, meet me in the anus, please." Very inside information you have to know what that means. But it was fun, you know, we had those things. We met with our proctor, which was kind of, they were either graduate students or people who were professionals working in the area. Essentially somebody a little bit older, and often they were married or had families, who lived in the dorms with us. There were 1 unit assigned per entryway just to make sure if we had any issues or to maintain discipline or whatever. But unlike some dorms in India, we didn't have any curfew. Our dorms were all co-ed. So it wasn't about making sure that we were in check. It was just if anything went wrong. So we met with our proctors. It was, for us, it was a married couple. And then they made us do icebreaker games. Now, icebreaker games can be really fun or really not fun. The one we had to play was an alliteration game. So we had to choose an adjective that described us and then say our name, and then we had to go around remembering every different person by that. I, for example, chose ambitious Avanti as the A. I remember one of my friends chose classy Chris. He was honestly, all through college, he was one of the classiest dressed people I knew, so it was a good foreshadowing. But you know, we had those little silly games, which honestly at first felt like, like what are we doing? We're not kids. But I'm really happy that they did it, because it just lowers your inhibitions, you know? If everybody is forced to do something of that nature, it allows you to feel like you're all in it together. They would read rules and regulations and policies and things of that nature. And they made sure we also had orientations, which I thought was really useful, around things like drinking culture and understanding the policies and rules around that, around sexual assault and making sure that we knew all the resources available to us, and also around mental health resources. And I think that's really, really important. And that continued, you know, throughout orientation. But on day 1, we were handed numbers, emails, contact information, told about each office. And I think it made me at least feel safer and more secure, because in a new environment, you have no idea where do you go? Who do you ask? What do you do? That evening, I remember they had a barbecue, so we got to meet everybody in our dorm. So Upper Butt got to meet Lower Butt, for example. It was really nice, you know, then you feel like they're really making an effort to put you together. Otherwise, if you just dump people in a room, immediately groups will form and you'll see that. But what I loved to see was everyone was so excited to meet each other and just learn about each other's lives. And once you got past the boring, "Hi, my name is Avanti, I'm from India, I've, you know, thinking of doing this, I blah blah blah, like the standard intro you would give everybody. Then you got to know someone a little bit deeper. And then the last thing that they did on the first day was we got to eat food for the first time in the dining hall. The freshman dining hall at Harvard literally looks like Hogwarts. Like, I'm not kidding. It has these beautiful chandeliers. It makes you feel like you're in that old heritage space, and it honestly felt unreal being there for the first time. And then when you walk inside, you realize, okay, I'm eating normal food. People are talking about the same things that are happening in life, and that juxtaposition of I'm in this place with so much history, so much heritage that I have, worked hard to get into and I've dreamed about. And then you're like, we're all still teenagers. We're eating bagels. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to check out all the other first time videos that we've done with Dobara.